All right, guys, we've got some more safeties to look at in this video. And again, we're still kind of beating down the same path. We're looking for guys who would be competent starters, guys who you could get probably not going to be that expensive, few $1,000,000 in most cases, and you just plug them in and you're like, okay, it's fine. It's not ideal, it's not long term. We're not going to get any all-pro seasons. We're not going to get superstar play, but it's fine. It'll buy us time to figure out the long term at the position. And I think that with all the dead money we're eating on safeties this year, that may be the best possible route. So, of the guys that we're discussing in these later videos today, like the previous video and this one, I definitely try to find a guy who stands out to you in a positive way. So, we're going to start with a Indianapolis Colt, Julian Blackman. Going to turn 26 before the season starts. Former third-round pick from Utah. Remember scouting him a little bit in the draft. He's had a fairly good career for Indianapolis, and he did have a little bit of a contract breakout year last year with 4 picks, 88 tackles, which was better than he had ever done before, 8 passes defensed. So he did have his best year right before his contract came due. One thing that kind of characterizes him is that he misses a decent amount of time because of injuries. You can see all the missed games he has over the last 4 seasons. But last year he did play in 15 games, so it was better than he usually does by a pretty good amount. He's a pretty decent size for a safety. So I look at this and I go, okay, this shouldn't cost that much money. It is his first non-rookie contract, so he's going to try to get what he can. But I don't believe there's anything here that stands out so much that he's going to get big bucks. Spotrac doesn't have a page for him. But you look at PFF, they think he played quite good last year. Year before that, okay. Year before that, okay. Rookie year was, I believe, okay, yeah, it was okay. Thought it was something like that. But, yeah, I don't see anything there that indicates he's going to get paid a bunch of money. It's not like the Colts defense has been locked down over the last 4 years or anything. There's nothing he can attach his name to that's going to get him the big bucks. So I think you'd probably be looking at like maybe a 2-year, $8 million deal, 3 years, 12 million, something like that. The injuries are also going to drag his price down. It might be a 1-year prove it deal, honestly, because he hasn't proven a ton yet. He might take that 1-year deal and try to get paid next year. So Julian Blackman, I think, would be a good candidate if you're trying to go thrifty and you want somebody who's just going to be generally effective, generally capable. I think you could do a lot worse. Pretty decent pick. He's young. He could get a little bit better over the next few years, could improve as a player. And that's the kind of stuff that I do think this team will be looking for this year. You've got Kavon Wallace of the formerly, well, most notably an Eagle, but most recently a Tennessee Titan. Also an Arizona Cardinal for a little bit there as well. Last year was kind of a breakout year for him across 2 different teams. Had his first career interception and 89 tackles. He was a part-time reserve player for the Eagles for 3 years. They helped the Eagles get to the Super Bowl in 2022, but you can see his role was not huge. In fact, if you take a look at his snap counts, they were diminishing with each passing year overall, actually. And then last year, he actually got to play most of the season, and he played fairly well. Again, there's nothing crazy over the top here, but this is a starting caliber safety, it seems to me. PFF thinks that he played respectably well. Good, well-rounded, all-around versatile player. Decent size for a safety. And he's about to turn 27, so he should be coming into his physical prime. So he should be, if anything, improving. And these previous years where he was a reserve player, the grades are not good. But we're not really worried about that so much because he looked a little bit different last year. He was more involved, and that seems to have helped him a pretty good amount. So he's a guy you could look at and go, we're going to bring him in long term for on a cheap deal. He could be like a Bradley McDougald type. He could be somebody that you get who is going to be solid and effective for you, but they're not so good that you're not going to be able to get them at a very fair rate. Again, I think that a guy like Kavon Wallace, maybe he gets a 1-year deal for like $3 million just to go prove it. Maybe he gets a 3-year deal, but I don't think it would be more than 10 to 12 million a year because it's only 1 year starting that he has, and it was good, but it wasn't anything off the charts or anything like that. So Kavon Wallace, a good candidate here, a good part of this discussion. And again, don't be shocked if the Seahawks decide to go this route to buy themselves a little bit of time at the safety position. Because whatever contract they give guys like this, they're going to be easy to get out of after a year or two. And they're not going to be crippling even if you keep them on as a backup, because they'll be making not that far away from backup money. The third guy in this video will be a guy we're familiar with from the division, Jordan Fuller, most recently of the Rams, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, spent his whole career in LA, missed almost all of the 2022 season, got hurt, but came back last year and played good. Ball hawk, 7 interceptions in 48 career games played, makes a lot of plays on the ball, was very involved on that Rams team that won the Super Bowl in 2021. 113 tackles, part of that secondary. Kind of a sleeper part of that defense overall, I would say. People, when they think about that Rams defense that won the Super Bowl, they think about Aaron Donald, they think about Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd. Guys like Jordan Fuller, not so much, but he was a key part of what was happening over there. And PFF thought he played pretty well last year. Not the best, but not bad. Year before doesn't matter because he barely played. The year they won the Super Bowl, they really liked what he was doing. They thought he was a big part of their run defense being really good. And without him, they don't make that Super Bowl run, I think. I think he was a key part of what they were able to do that year in LA. So Jordan Fuller, he's coming free as a free agent. It's his first non-rookie deal year. I don't know if he's going to be able to break the bank because he is coming off that major injury. I know that he bounced back from it in 2023, but that's going to affect perceptions of him, I think. It's also going to affect perceptions of him a little bit that he was a 6th round pick. Barely went in the top 200. That's always going to color these players a certain way when they're still relatively young and they don't have sterling results to fall back on. And I could see Jordan Fuller getting, like I said with the other guys, 3 years, $12 million. Maybe he takes a 1-year prove-it deal for like $3 or $4 million, something like that. Any of it would be okay with me, I guess. So Jordan Fuller, I think he's got the versatility to do the things that we need to do. I think he's got the ability to play both safety roles from game to game, from snap to snap, from drive to drive. And again, this is the kind of stuff that I'm trying to find. Just find the guys who will be good enough for 1 year. And to a certain extent, one of the reasons why Mike McDonald is here right now is because he did a good job taking relative no-names and getting great results out of them in Baltimore. Justin Matabuke was a no-name before Mike McDonald took over as DC. Geno Stone was a no-name until Mike McDonald got his hands on him, right? Even a guy like Patrick Queen wasn't a no-name, but he was looking like a bust before Mike McDonald got there. So maybe when you take on all that dead Jamal Adams money, you're kind of going, okay, Mike McDonald, prove that you can do it again. We're not going to give you all of your resources because we're taking on dead money right now, but we're going to get it all over with. In the meantime, show me that you can get really good results out of not the primo talent out there. Build on the primo talent we already have and find spare parts that can work better than the sum. Find a whole that can work better than the sum of their parts. All right. See you guys later. I'm going to do one more strong safety video a little later today. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. Let me know if anything about this stands out to you, anything appeals to you. And we will talk a little bit more about safety today. And then that'll actually basically wrap up the free agency series. So at that point, I think we'll have looked at pretty much everything except, I guess, the guys who are getting released, which that's just going to be a constant trickle for a while now. So there's not really a ton I can do about that. See you guys later.